With Chris Terry and Tim Saunders at Skate Zone in Voorhees, and this week we're taking a look at some of the changes the Flyers have made this summer. It has been a season of change already. One thing that'll be different this coming season, the addition of some of the young guys. Bundy, last year, with the exception of Sergei Bobrovsky, the Flyers didn't have a single rookie that had an impact on the hockey club. That almost certainly will change this year.
Yeah, big time, Tim. I think when you look at it from the Flyers' perspective, they had some guys fill in last year. Ben Holmstrom came up for some games. Erik Gustafsson for 2-3 games. Not really leaving an impact on the team at the end of the year. Saw a couple guys. Ronaldo got in a playoff game. Zach Ronaldo in the playoffs. But the biggest opening an opportunity that we left for that of Brayden Schenn, I believe, the 5th overall pick in 2009, comes over in the Mike Richards trade from the Los Angeles Kings. He probably, in all the trades and the moves that Flyers made via the trades this year, he's probably got the most upside of anybody involved. This guy could be a dynamic superstar in this league. He's a gifted playmaker, sees the ice very, very well. He's going to be the guy I think the Flyers are going to really lean on early to fill that third-line center void, where he's still going to be able to get a lot of ice time, but they're not leaving him in a situation where he's going to have to be the man early. The emergence of Giroux and Briere has kind of left the Flyers with that, so there's a real good spot and an opening there for Schenn. The other guy, Sean Couturier, we talked about 8th overall this year. That'll be really a question of how well he performs in training camp. If he does not, or they think he needs more seasoning, which could be the case, he'll go back to Drummondville for a year.
As it relates to Brayden Schenn, the Flyers have called him, they think, maybe the best prospect outside of the National Hockey League. And last month, Monday, in the prospects camp that the Flyers held here at Skate Zone, they had a scrimmage on the last day, and it was almost men against boys.
Yeah, he's that good a player. And I remember we had another tag on a guy once, too, Yuri Dopita, as the top player, not in the NHL. Brayden Schenn is not that guy. He is a very bona fide superstar of a young junior player. And you're right, Tim, in that scrimmage, I think he had 4 points in the last game. Four goals, yeah. So, I mean, he's just that kind of a guy that can provide that spark and that kind of an offensive punch. Give him time to develop, but if he's going to do it, I think the Flyers are going to want him to do it at this level where they can still be able to find a way to manufacture him and get him the ice time he needs to continue that development.
Sean Couturier was the 8th overall pick that came in the trade with Columbus for Jeff Carter. This is a pretty well-rounded young hockey player, and he's already excelled in the World Junior Championship or in the World Junior Prospects Camp this past week.
Yeah, again, another guy that's really had a great camp this week. Both him and Schenn were World Junior members last year for Team Canada. Anytime you get those 22 guys that play for Team Canada in the World Juniors, you usually end up becoming pretty darn good NHL hockey players. So, young guy though still, Tim. You know who he probably is going to remind a lot of people of? James Van Riemsdyk, in the sense that his body's going to need to grow. He's going to need to fill in. He's going to need to come with that confidence night after night. We hope JVR's there, and he arrived because he sure did in the playoffs last year. He was something else. I think Couturier is one of those guys. I don't know the answer to this yet, that they may feel may need to put some more size on his body, on that frame. Does he do it here, or does he do it back in junior for a year?
It's going to make for an interesting camp because this year there are going to be some jobs to be won. You've already mentioned a couple of the other names. Mike Testweed is going to be given a strong look, even a Tom Sestito who came over at the trading deadline last year from Columbus.
Yeah, Tom Sestito's a big guy, a real huge man. He's not afraid to drop the gloves. Will play that enforcer role. Of course, Jody Shelley's still here for the Philadelphia Flyers. So there's going to be some decisions that are going to have to be made. I think the biggest one on the defensive side, and make no mistake about it, the Flyers' defense continues to stay loaded like they were. They did not lose any defensemen in any of those trades except for O'Donnell that decided to sign with Chicago in the offseason. They are 4 very, very top defensemen for the Flyers, but I think the biggest one is Erik Gustafsson. Is he going to have a chance this year to make it? He's probably the guy they're looking for in defense right now to come in and perhaps challenge for that 6 or 7 spot. If he does make it, they're going to want to play him night after night because he is that young.
A season of change just around the corner as we get set for the start of another training camp. It's Skate Zone in Voorhees with Chris Terrian. I'm Tim Saunders.